What is up, everybody? RondoNumber9 Snuck a RPG in the Chiraq. 39 years in prison for murder. Why he about dead?
Early drill movement, but unfortunately, his career was cut short after he got hit with 39 years in prison for the murder of a cab driver. Let's tap into the come up and criminal history of RondoNumber9. RondoNumber9 was born and raised on the south side of Chicago. He don't have too many interviews available, so ain't too much known about his childhood or upbringing. But he's from the 600 set of the Black Disciples and was inspired by rappers like Lil Durk and Chief Keef to start making music. He dropped his first mixtape, I'm Up Next, in 2012 after only rapping for about a year. But he was cool with all the other popular BD rappers from his hood like LA Capone and Lil Durk. So he decided to try it out and quickly became one of the most popular rappers from 600. He dropped multiple singles that had the streets on fire, including Hang With Me, Taliban, and Play For Keeps with LA Capone. His music videos also started racking up millions of views on YouTube. Many thought Rondo was next up out of Chicago and that he would continue the trend of BD rappers making it big. But his criminal past put him on the radar of police and made it hard for him to transition from the streets into music. Rondo's first arrest came after he posted a picture of himself to social media holding an actual rocket launcher with the caption, "Coolin' it with my new baby." The rocket launcher looked like an AT-4, a Swedish RPG that was also used by the US military. The one Rondo had a blue stripe, meaning it was only for training and not live combat. Rondo was already blowing up as a rapper, so the pictures immediately grabbed the attention of the police. The cops were already monitoring all of the up-and-coming gang-affiliated drill rappers in Chicago. So when Rondo posted a pic with the RPG, they was all over it. They posted a bulletin in the neighborhood, letting residents know that there was a gang member on the streets with a rocket launcher. It even had Rondo's picture and his government name. They also quickly started searching for Rondo to discover if the RPG was real and find out how he got it. Rondo deleted the photo from his Instagram and said it was all a joke. But another rapper named P. Rico would later post a pic with a similar rocket launcher to his own Instagram. There's no telling if it was the same one or if someone in Chicago had a plug on RPGs, but it shows how wild the city really was during that time. It's not clear if Rondo actually faced any charges because of the RPG, but it don't look like he did jail time for it. On September 26, 2013, Rondo's best friend LA Capone got killed after leaving a recording studio on Stony Island Ave. He was still alive when the ambulance arrived, but later died from blood loss. 3 men from 051 Young Money Gang, one of 600's main ops, were later arrested for this murder. LA Capone's death was a major blow to 600. He was building a buzz, and many thought he was next to blow along with Rondo. LA's death really hit Rondo hard since they were so close, and LA was the one who encouraged him to start rapping. So he posted on social media to mourn the loss of his right-hand man. But LA's death wouldn't stop his hustle, and Rondo dropped his next mixtape, Real for Life 2, which featured guest appearances from Fredo Santana, C-Day, and even LA Capone. Aside from all the talent that Rondo showed on this project, it would unfortunately be his last because he got locked up for murder not long after. On February 21st, 2014, Rondo and some other 600 members went to a party at the Wentworth Garden Housing Projects, an area that was known as GD territory. Rondo was there with well-known Chiraq savages C-Day, Tay 600, Lil Boo, and D Rose, along with some females. At one point, most of the guys left, but Tay 600 and the girls stayed. There was an argument over the song that was playing, and someone fired a gun into the air. No one was hit, but Tay 600 called Rondo and C-Day and told them what had happened. So they all linked up at a nearby Wendy's and decided to go look for whoever fired that shot at the party. They drove back through the area near the party, passing a car that was parked on the side of the road. Inside the car was an innocent cab driver named Javon Boyd, who got called to pick someone up from the party. According to police, when they passed Boyd's car, they busted a U-turn and pulled up right next to him. Rondo and C-Day hopped out and asked Boyd if he was from the area. After he told them that he was, one of them pulled out a gun and shot him 7 times. Rondo and C-Day got back in the car and left the area, leaving Boyd to die from bleeding out. After investigating, police ID'd C-Day and Rondo as the shooters, and they both got arrested. Rondo was held on a $2 million bail. They both sat in Cook County Jail for over 2 years while they waited to go to trial. Even though they said they was innocent and that it was all a big misunderstanding, there was a lot of evidence that eventually found them guilty. Not only was C-Day's DNA on Boyd's car, but the whole thing was also caught on surveillance footage. Plus, witnesses identified Rondo as a shooter, and C-Day even dropped his phone at the scene of the crime. 2 of the girls who were with him that night also testified against him and took the stand in court to identify Rondo and C-Day as the killers. There was even a rumor that Tay 600 snitched on C-Day. Tay was fighting a gun charge at that time and disappeared after Rondo and C-Day were convicted. Plus, 600 members, like 600 Breezy and C-Day's brother E-Day, said they saw paperwork that proved Tay 600 snitched. But the paperwork they supposedly saw ended up being fake and was used to try and discredit Tay 600. So the rumor wasn't true, and Tay 600 proved his innocence years later after court paperwork showed that he never cooperated. But by this time, he was already labeled a snitch and couldn't rock with Team 600. With a mountain of evidence against him, Rondo and C-Day was found guilty of the murder of Javon Boyd. On top of the murder charge, Rondo got hit with a firearm charge for having a gun on him on the night of the murder. This was supposed to add multiple years to Rondo's sentence, but it only added 1 additional year, and Rondo was sentenced to 39 years in prison, while C-Day got sentenced to 38. Both Rondo and C-Day still say they're innocent and have tried to appeal the verdict multiple times. C-Day's lawyers claim the prosecutors ain't provided enough evidence to prove a first-degree murder charge because the motive wasn't good enough to prove why he planned out the attack. Rondo, on the other hand, blamed his legal team and says they never questioned the possibility that C-Day acted alone. This brought up snitching allegations against Rondo for admitting that C-Day was the killer. But when you're looking at the next few years behind bars, street code starts mattering less and less to him. Plus, he ain't actually accused C-Day of anything, he just blamed his lawyers for not exploring every option. Both of these appeals got shot down because there was more than enough evidence to prove they was both involved and took Boyd's life with no mercy. So, for now, Rondo and C-Day will probably serve their full sentences. At this time, Rondo's projected release date is in 2056, but he's eligible for parole in 2053. That means he'll be 57 before he's released. RondoNumbaNine's story is pretty tragic. He had the potential to take over the rap game with his level of talent and all the connections he had in both the streets and the music industry. But when an innocent person gets caught up in the crossfire of the gang lifestyle, police go even harder for a conviction. In this case, C-Day and Rondo made their job easy and left a lot of evidence. It's a sad story, but that's what comes with this life. Either you make it out with your talent, or you end up dead or in jail. Hopefully, the story of RondoNumbaNine is a lesson to any young rappers with 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the streets. Cause if you still living the life you talk about in your music, eventually it's gonna catch up with you.
Facts, man. But yeah, that's me to end this video, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe, and we up, bro.